Yeah, there you are. There's the other nerds. Come on.
All right. As you said, we're talking about personal scripts on Unix-based systems, a little bit more technical than some of the other talks, but nice to have some tech in there. So the first question is why? Why would you want to write scripts on your personal laptop or your work machine? Mostly to save time when you're running common, complex commands. Instead of searching through your history all the time to try and find commands you run back to back or try to change stuff, you can put them in a script file and then just have them automatically run with a shorter command. They're also shareable. Since it's in a file, you can share with other people. You can feel like a hacker. You can impress your friends and coworkers if they're, peeking over your shoulder and you type something out and they're just like, wait, how'd you do that? Do you need a script or an alias? So if it's a simple one-liner, let's say you have something like git commit -- amend and you want a shorter alias for that, that would obviously be an alias. But if you need inputs or like multiple commands or you need some like logic, definitely reach for a script. So where should scripts live? Technically, they can live kind of anywhere you want, but typically they're in your home directory somewhere, in the .local/bin or in the bin directory. Those are kind of the two that I see most. And we have a path environment variable. So this is how you tell your shell where to find these executables. This is where you tell your shell where to actually find your scripts. Your scripts must be executable, so you use chmod and +x and the path to your script. And then you set the path variable in your shell's RC files. This is either the .bashrc or the .zshrc file. And you would add this line, so export path, and then I chose the .local/bin and then :path because you don't want to overwrite the path. You want to just prepend it with your script, so it searches your scripts first, and then the rest of the system executables next. Some tips for when you're writing your scripts. Maketemp is great for making temporary files or temporary directories. If you need to download something, but it's temporary, it's not going to be the final output of your script, Maketemp can make a temporary file. It can also make a directory if you have to download a bunch of stuff or create a bunch of stuff in a directory that you don't really care about and you just want to delete later. Maketemp's great for that. And then trap can be used to clean that stuff up after you're done. Let's go over a couple of examples. These are personal scripts that I wrote and I use pretty often. So the first one is called QRSend. This generates a QR code and opens it in an image viewer. So you can see at the top we have a bunch of logic in the if statement, which pretty much just says like if I passed in an argument, I want to use that as my data for the QR code. If I didn't pass it an argument, it uses WL-paste, which is the command for getting the contents of your clipboard. So if I didn't give it anything, it just tries to use whatever in my clipboard. Then we have a variable for QR file, and we're using maketemp. We're going to output in a temporary directory, and the QRSend.xxxx maketemp will template that out so that it's a file that did not exist, but then it gives you back the file name. So we have a file that we know we can put stuff in. It's not going to interfere with other scripts. So we're going to call that QR file. So then we have trap, which will run. We said at the end of that line, it says it's exit. So whenever the script exits, no matter which line it exits on, it will run the trap command, which does rm, that QR file, so it'll delete it, it'll clean everything up. Then we have QR encode, and QR encode generates a QR code image. We're going to output that to the QR file. We're going to use our data. Then we're going to use our image viewer to open it. So I can use this for like if I want to copy a YouTube video from my laptop to my phone or something, watch it on my phone, I can just copy the YouTube URL, type QRSend in my terminal, pops up a QR code, and I can have it on my phone. The next one is like when am I on call? Might be a little bit small. But at the top we have a bunch of squid alerts, API calls. Instead of going to the squid alerts is how our on-call system that we use at work. And instead of going to the web interface and going to the calendar and like clicking next on all the months, we can just use the API to get all the times we're on call, and then use the JQ script or JQ program to parse out the JSON that it returns and say, limit it to the ones that are me, sort it by time, and then format the output. So if we ran it, this is something that it would look like. Instead of going to a web interface, I can just go into my terminal and just run this. It's super convenient. Happy scripting. That's all I got.